What privileges do you have that I don't have?
Oh, see, that's the question I keep asking myself because, like, in this day and age, like, all the laws, I say all the laws, it's hard to speak on something I'm not fully knowledgeable of. So, like, I'm sorry if I, like, make a mistake in saying this, but it's like,
All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. We got to take a look at this clip going viral on Twitter and YouTube from Sav Says, where she quote-unquote deprograms this young white man in his belief that he has white privilege over people of color. A very common belief these days. I think it stems from indoctrination and guilt. You know, a lot of white people think that they have privilege over people of color, and a lot of people of color think that they are oppressed and things of this nature. It's just, if you hear something so many times over and over and over again, you know, you'll start to believe it. I used to buy into this narrative somewhat when I was younger, more liberal minded. But with that being said, let's take a look at this clip. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe while we watching. Now let's roll it.
I grew up as a white man, and you're the exact opposite, you know? And so it's like my experiences are going to be different from yours.
How come?
I think, there's a thing of, like, white privilege.
What privileges do you have that I don't have?
Oh, see, that's the question I keep asking myself because, like, in this day and age, like, all the laws, I say all the laws, it's hard to speak on something I'm not fully knowledgeable of. So, like, I'm sorry if I, like, make a mistake in saying this, but it's
Don't you think it's a problem in society when white people think that they have more privileges than brown or black people?
Yeah, and I think that's sort of the agenda that's pushed off because personally, it's like, not that I think I'm more privileged than anyone else because I had to work to get where I was, and that's like the...
So why do you have that mentality immediately where you kind of apologize to me, like, let's talk about privilege, let's talk about I'm a white man in America, so we could have grown up differently.
Got you.
Why is that your first initial reaction to me as a brown woman?
Wow, you're getting me good. See, these are the kind of conversations that I love having. And I think it comes from a place of, like, I wouldn't say caution, but, like, in this day and age, people are so quick to judge and react and cancel. And so I guess it's that like, caution to go into an interview like this. I'm like, I don't know where we're at, but now I know where we're at, and I can, like, go for real.
He says, so now I know where we at, so I could go for real. So what he's saying is that going into this interview, he didn't know exactly what her beliefs was. So he was, on the fence, walking on eggshells. He didn't know how to come across without being offensive. So he had to pick and choose carefully what he was saying in order not to be offensive. You know, he knows this is going on the internet. He don't want to come off as a racist. But the thing people got to realize is that I think if you're a white person, it doesn't matter. It don't matter what you say. You'll never be good enough for the wokest of the woke. Like, there are people of color who believe this and believe that, all white people have this privilege and, you're all, you can't win with people who uphold this belief to the fullest. They will always look at you as just a privileged white person. No matter what, you just got to live your own life. I think if you have a belief that you can't explain, if you fervently believe in something and you can't even give the answer to why you believe it, I think you need to challenge that belief. If it wasn't some revelation, if it wasn't through a lot of study, if you aren't truly concrete in your belief of something like this, then you should challenge it. And I think that's what Sav Says did. I wouldn't go as far as to say he's deprogrammed, but this conversation definitely did make him think. It made him think and question. I'm sure he walked away from this like, she asked me some pretty simple questions. I couldn't really even answer one of them. Like, every time she spoke, she stumped him. He said he had to work hard to get to where he was in life. I mean, so does everybody else. All white people aren't born in the same position in life. Some are born poor. Some are born in the middle class. Some are born rich. That same narrative you can apply to every single race. Being white is hardly a privilege if you can't even speak your mind. Ideologically, he's been submitted into his way of thinking. He knows that if he says anything contrary to, woke belief, white privilege, if he says anything contrary to that, he will be met with backlash. And that's why he approaches the conversation this way. He's been ideologically bullied into thinking the way that he thinks. It was the same for me growing up. I grew up in Chicago, very blue, very liberal city. I grew up hearing, oh, there's white privilege. White people can do things that black people can't do and other people of color. Black people are oppressed. You know, it's hard out here for a black man. It's gonna be a lot harder for you if you black. Like, these things, you hear them over and over and over again. And through your young and more impressionable years, you will carry this stuff with you all the way until adulthood, until you are actually deprogrammed, until you realize it's a load of crap. Nobody is born on equal footing. You get what you work for. Everybody doesn't start off in the same place. That's just life. To expect everyone to start off on equal footing sounds like, you know, communism to me. You would think in a nation that was run by white supremacy and, you know, that entitled all white people to privilege, that you'd be able to say whatever you want as a white person, face no consequences at all. But we all know that's not true. We all know that's not true. If you white, you got to be careful what you say more than anyone else. And imagine if white privilege was really a thing, why would any white person want to give up their privilege? You know, one thing that's not healthy to do is to hold yourself up next to another person who might be successful, who might have more than you, that might have more privileges than you, and compare your life to them and say, you know what, life isn't fair, this isn't right, and whine and complain. You were born with the cards you were dealt. It's in your best interest to play your best hand at all times. Work hard, learn, try, fail, reinvent the wheel, go back and do it again. You know, do things that are conducive to long-term success. You know, you'll see common things amongst all successful people, and everybody wants to be successful in whatever way it is, whether it be successful in having a family, successful in having your own house, or having a nice job, or, you know, successful in any way. When you see someone that has something that you don't, instead of saying he has it so I need to have it too, life isn't fair, say, well, how hard did he have to work to get that? What struggles did he go through? What did he have to learn? How long did it take? Instead of being bitter and being a hater. And for this young man, he has to understand it doesn't matter how woke you go. To the very woke, you are still just a white man, and you will always have this white privilege. So don't try to appease them. Don't bow down to the mob. You will be crushed by them eventually, regardless of how far you want to submit. But that's it for the video, you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe when you're at the door. Let me know what you thought about this in the comments down below. And until next time, you guys, I'm out of here. Peace.